What if I told you that Oda has hinted at Sanji eating a devil fruit multiple times, and that this fruit has already appeared in the story? A fruit powered by love itself. Straw Hats eating devil fruits has been an idea discussed by fans for years, and it always splits the community in two. Some people think it would make the series more fun, while others believe the crew is already balanced and it would mess with the dynamic too much. Personally, I understand both sides. I don't think it's necessary, but I do think it would be really fun. But here's the weird thing. In a world where devil fruits are constantly appearing, from major arcs to side stories, not a single Straw Hat found a devil fruit during the entire 2-year time skip. Even Ace got his Mera Mera no Mi, one of the strongest devil fruits, by complete chance. So isn't it logical to assume that at some point the Straw Hats might find one too? In this video, I'm not saying that Sanji will definitely eat a devil fruit, but I do think there are a lot of subtle clues in the story that suggest it's not as far-fetched as some people think. What if he did? First, I'll break down the manga clues. Then I'll reveal the devil fruit that I think fits Sanji perfectly, and it's located on Elbaf. Let's start. Hope you'll enjoy this. As many of you know, Oda once said in an SBS that if Sanji had a devil fruit, it would be the Sui Sui no Mi, the swim fruit. That's the same fruit Senor Pink ended up having. At first glance, it seems like a gag, a funny what-if scenario, but it gets more interesting. Back in the Thriller Bark arc, Sanji freaked out when he learned Absalom had the Suke Suke no Mi, the invisibility fruit. He said that he always wanted it as a kid. Later, we see young Sanji reading a devil fruit encyclopedia. That detail is easy to miss, but it tells us something very rare in One Piece. Sanji actually dreamed of eating a devil fruit. That's something we never hear from the rest of the crew. Zoro especially has made it clear that he doesn't want one, that he wants to get strong through pure swordsmanship and discipline. But Sanji, he never said no. He was curious. He was open to it. Even though he eventually gained invisibility through Germatech, it still mirrors the power he wanted as a kid. And that might be exactly what Oda wants us to notice. Maybe Sanji is being slowly given pseudo-devil fruit powers, first through tech, and eventually, maybe through an actual fruit? Maybe that's why Sanji talks so much about love in recent arcs? Judge's experiments gave him an enhanced body, an exoskeleton, regeneration, and flames that burn hotter than ever. None of these are fruits, but all of them are fruit-like. And that leads us to Sanji's internal conflict. He always hated Germa. He rejected his father. He wanted nothing to do with their twisted science. But when the crew needed him, when Luffy needed him, he put that pride aside. He accepted his powers, not for himself, but to protect the people he loves. In Eni's lobby, when Luffy said, "I want to protect all my friends," Frankie replied that everyone has to get stronger if they want to survive. Zoro even swallowed his pride and asked Mihawk, his biggest rival, to train him. Sanji too had to swallow his pride. He accepted his Germa powers. And now, as we enter the final saga, the enemies are stronger than ever. Imu, the Gorosei, Blackbeard, the Admirals. If there's a devil fruit out there that could boost Sanji's abilities, one that matches his style, doesn't take away his humanity, and helps Luffy achieve his dream, would he really say no? Now let's get to something that's been a mystery for years: Sanji's fire. Before the time skip, it was said that he created fire through friction, like spinning so fast that his leg ignites. But after the time skip, his Diable Jambe now produces intense flames that burn even underwater. And now it's explained by the heat of love. In Whole Cake Island, Luffy says Sanji's food has emotions in it. Oda never does anything without any reason. He might be hinting that Sanji's emotions manifest physically, and I will explain why it's so important. What if there's a devil fruit that amplifies that? A fruit that turns emotion, especially love, into power. Something like the Mera Mera no Mi, but instead of strength, it focused on the user's heart and will, not just heat. As I already mentioned, Sanji talks a lot about love. He frequently says things like, "Love is always a hurricane. Love makes you stronger. I fight for love." Sanji despises his family not just because they're cruel, but because they have no heart, no love, no humanity. Even in his first introduction in chapter 68, he calls cooking the gift of love. In chapter 1034, during his final clash against Queen, he says that his love for his friends is all he needs. As you can see, love and emotions play a big part in Sanji's character, strength-wise as well. In Elbaf, this theme becomes even stronger after seeing Skopper Gaban and Sommers talking about love too. Speaking of Sommers, he ate the Iba Iba no Mi, which makes him a thorn human. He can choose his targets, and when someone touches one of them, they are attacked by thorns. The stronger the love for the target, the more painful the thorns are. I believe this is the perfect devil fruit for Sanji. Right now, Sommers is still alive, and it seems impossible for Sanji to get the fruit, but he'll most likely be defeated at the end of this arc, and it wouldn't be surprising if he dies. We didn't expect Saturn to die at Egghead either. It was confirmed in the manga that when a devil fruit user dies, their fruit's power reincarnates into a nearby fruit. When Smiley, Caesar Clown's pet, died, its devil fruit power was shown leaving its body as a swirling pattern, then transferring into a nearby regular fruit. So Sanji could easily get Sommers' Iba Iba no Mi if that happens. But why is this fruit perfect for Sanji? First of all, most devil fruits require time to master. For example, if you gave Luffy's Nika fruit to Sanji, even though he's strong, he would still need years to master and awaken it. But the thorn fruit seems easier to control. All it needs is Sanji's love for his targets. And there's no character in the story who talks more about love than Sanji. Not only does he talk about it, he lives it. He was ready to sacrifice himself to save his crew during the Whole Cake Island arc. With this power, Sanji wouldn't change. He wouldn't become insanely overpowered, but he'd gain a new way to protect his friends, especially crewmates like Nami and Robin. He'd be ready to become something more for them. Imagine this, someone touches Nami or Robin and instantly thorns explode from their own body. The pain directly tied to how much Sanji cares for them. The more love, the more damage. It would be like Naruto's nine-tailed beast power. In the series, Naruto is able to share Kurama's chakra with others and protect them during the Fourth Great Ninja War. And here's a fun fact. In the early drafts of One Piece, Oda originally planned to name Sanji Naruto, possibly inspired by Narutomaki, a fish cake that appears in ramen, which would have fit with Sanji being a chef. But Oda changed it when Naruto, the manga, was about to debut. Elbaf is the perfect place for Sanji to take this next step. Elbaf is the land of the giants, warriors of honor, tradition, and intense emotion. It's not just a place of strength, it's a place of deep feelings and values. And in this arc, we've already seen how themes like love, loyalty, and sacrifice are central to the story. Characters like Skopper Gaban and Sommers openly discuss love as a source of strength, which is extremely rare in a world where brute force usually takes center stage. This isn't a coincidence. Oda seems to be mirroring Sanji's personal philosophy in the values of the Elbaf warriors. Sanji doesn't fight for glory, he doesn't fight to win. He fights to protect, to cook, to give, to love. He's always been emotionally driven, and in a world like Elbaf, that's no longer a weakness, it's a sign of power. For years, he's hated his family, hated his bloodline, hated what Judge turned him into. He's struggled to reconcile his past with who he wants to be. But what if this fruit, the Iba Iba no Mi, is the final piece of that puzzle? Not something he was born with, not something forced on him, but a power that chooses him because of the way he loves others. That would be classic Oda storytelling, the cherry on top of an already amazing backstory and character development for Sanji. Think about how poetic it would be, a man whose emotions have always been his strength, finally gaining a power that amplifies that exact trait. A fruit that punishes anyone who hurts the people he loves. A fruit that doesn't make him stronger for himself, but stronger for others. And it wouldn't even break the crew balance. The fruit doesn't make Sanji overpowered, it doesn't let him nuke islands or control elements, it just enhances what's already there. His love. His will to protect. It's also worth noting that Oda loves giving the monster trio a very personal power or weapon. Luffy's devil fruit is tied to freedom and joy, Zoro's swords are an extension of his discipline and pride, and Sanji's power? It's always been love. The Iba Iba no Mi isn't just a cool ability, it's a thematic match. It's an emotional payoff. People are already theorizing that Sommers will be Sanji's opponent, not just because of their quotes about love, but also because they both seem to care about food. But maybe this setup isn't just for a potential fight. Maybe it's actually about the devil fruit. Right now, I don't see how someone like Sommers, an evil character who enjoys watching children and giants suffer, could truly use this fruit to its full potential. Sure, he might care about the other holy knights to some extent, but compared to Sanji, it feels like the Iba Iba no Mi is being wasted. Some people don't like the idea of Sanji eating a devil fruit because of the parallels with Roger's crew, but even though there are many similarities between these crews, and especially the monster trios, they're still way different. Even Luffy has a devil fruit while Roger did not. Sanji has extra powers from an exoskeleton while Copacabana uses axes, and so on. Now of course, there's no guarantee Sanji will get this fruit, maybe Oda is just teasing the idea. But then again, Oda loves payoff, and he rarely brings up a theme over and over without reason. Whether or not Oda gives Sanji a devil fruit, one thing is clear. His love is already his greatest power. But if that love could protect his friends physically, wouldn't that be the ultimate Sanji evolution? Anyway, I would like to see Sanji or even another Straw Hat eat a devil fruit during the series. That's it for today. If you want to know more about the Straw Hat's power-ups after Elbaf, you can watch this video right here. Thanks for watching. Bye.